Before this video starts, shout out to FG Nomad and my boy Ola. They all got a shout out because they subscribed to the channel and commented down below that they subscribe. If you want to be shouted out in the next recorded video, then subscribe to the channel, comment down below that you want a shout out, and I'll hit you up on the next video. Now enjoy.
As you all know, Doc Rivers did not go to the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, I didn't really think he would end up there, but that video still is pretty obsolete. I think a lot of it can still be cross-applied with the 76ers. But first things first, congrats to Doc Rivers for getting a new coaching job, pardon me. And let's see what happens. Just quickly about the Pelicans. I think they're going to go for Kenny Atkinson. I think he's a great development coach, and I think he'll be a perfect fit. But moving on, let's talk about the 76ers. And first thing I thought about when I think about the 76ers is floor spacing. Because you got Joel Embiid, who really deals damage in the block. You got Ben Simmons, a true power forward or point forward. You got Al Horford, who can shoot the three but can't really shoot it in volume. And then a bunch of other average to slightly above average shooters, or even some below average shooters. So what is Doc Rivers going to do to actually make this team successful without a lot of floor spacing? Now, of course, we can't really make a decision about the floor spacing yet because free agency hasn't happened. And the 76ers can still make a lot of moves. But if you just look at the roster, there's not really a lot of fluency. Al Horford has that max contract. I've been hearing a lot of buzz about Al Horford for Buddy Hield, but would the Kings really do that though? You have, 34, 35 years old Al Horford. You have him under contract until he's 37. I guess you can give up a Josh Richardson, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot more enticing packages that the Kings can choose for Buddy Hield. So I think the 76ers are stuck with Al Horford. So I guess the first question is, how is Doc Rivers going to deal with the lack of floor spacing? How is he going to spread the floor? How is he going to allow Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons and Al Horford to coexist? Now next season, I'm assuming Al Horford is getting benched. I think this year already showed enough that they can't play together. So let's just assume we have that weird lineup about Ben Simmons in the 4, Shake Milton playing point guard type of thing. I mean, I guess I can't assume that. Doc Rivers is going to have to make a decision if he wants to do that or not. I honestly still think that's a pretty decent lineup, having Shake Milton, Josh Richardson, Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid. There's kind of not a lot you can do, and I think that would work if done correctly. Now, I think with so little floor spacing, Doc Rivers can't have a repeat of his play calling on the Clippers. You can't just have a here's the ball score type mentality. That's probably the biggest downfall of Brett Brown. Now, there's a lot more than just stagnant offense, which I'm going to go into later. But Doc Rivers can't fall into that Clippers trap. Now, as I stated before, I still think Doc Rivers is a good, not great coach. And I think he just got complacent. And I think Doc Rivers knows his legacy is on the line now. And he's really going to do his best. And I think he's going to do at least all right. So just in terms of play calling, it's a little tough when you lose JJ Redick. I hope they can add at least a couple of role players who can shoot. A couple of role players who can spread that floor. I like Furkman Korkmaz. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but I think it's something like that. He's a good player. Oh yeah, bringing up the topic of Tobias Harris. Remember, Tobias Harris, when he played for the Clippers, he was coached under Doc Rivers. And he looked damn near like an all-star that year. Now, actually, I'm high on Tobias Harris. Do I think he's overpaid? Yes. But I like him a lot. I think he's a pretty okay defender. At least he's big. He can shoot the 3 ball pretty well. And he's just a pretty decent and solid overall offensive player. And I think that having Doc Rivers is going to really unlock Tobias Harris, which the 76ers need. The Sixers need Tobias Harris to unlock his true potential. Now remember, everyone underestimates, like, Tobias Harris. Okay, I guess he's 27 now, so he's kind of old, but he's not as old as people think. Like, for some reason, I feel like a lot of people think Tobias Harris is a lot older than he actually is. Like, he's still 27. He's going to enter his prime. And the Sixers need him to become that knockdown shooter. I'm looking for 38, 39, or hopefully even 40% from three next year for them to be truly successful. And I think Doc Rivers is that guy. I think Doc Rivers can unlock the potential of Tobias Harris. So that's a big reason why I think this Doc Rivers signing isn't a bad idea. But even outside of the court, I think my biggest concern is culture. There were so many rumors about locker room issues, chemistry issues. Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons don't really get along. Al Horford releasing to the press that there's kind of some underlying chemistry issues. And who's one of the most important figures in developing chemistry? The most important is the leader of the team, which I'm not sure about. That's definitely an identity question that the 76ers have to answer. But the second most important person is the coach. The coach has to develop that culture, develop that chemistry, and connect all their players together. That's part of the job. And unfortunately, I don't think Doc Rivers can really do that. And that's why I'm a little concerned about this signing. In almost every single team he's been on, there has been some instance of players fighting players, of players taking sides, of buzzes and rumors of team chemistry issues. Like, for example, just this past year, we find out that people hate Paul George. Kawhi wasn't a leader. People don't respect each other. With the Lob City Clippers, Blake Griffin and Chris Paul basically hated each other. Even in 2008, 2009, 2010, his run with the Celtics, Rajon Rondo and Ray Allen had a beef. I don't really think Doc Rivers is that guy to lay down solid chemistry between players, and I think that's a little concerning, especially with all these young dogs. Like, Ben Simmons is young. Joel Embiid is, 26 now. All of these are still young players trying to prove themselves. And they got egos. They got their preferences. They got their wants. And you need a coach who can rein them in. Brett Brown, his biggest downfall, nobody respected him. Nobody actually listened to what he said. Like, last offseason, we heard all of these reports about how Ben Simmons has a jump shot now. And Brett Brown was saying he's going to push Ben Simmons to shoot. I think he shot 2 3-pointers all season. Maybe 3 3-pointers. Like, that's pathetic right there. And that falls to the coach. The coach got to hold people accountable. You either have the coach do it, or you got a dog like Jimmy Butler do it. Jimmy Butler left the Sixers. You can listen to JJ Redick's podcast about what happened in the 76ers. I definitely recommend that. But you either have JJ Redick do it, and he left in free agency, or a sign and trade was conducted, or you got the coach do it. And I don't really think Doc Rivers can really lay down that culture and promote that chemistry that the 76ers need. So in terms of on-the-court stuff, I think Doc Rivers is going to be fine. I think he's going to be what you expect, good, not great. But I'm a little concerned about the off-court stuff. I'm a little concerned about, is he going to force Ben Simmons to finally shoot? Is he going to have that mentality drilled into Joel Embiid to get it? Is he going to turn Joel Embiid into a beast? Is he going to promote chemistry between Al Horford, Tobias Harris, Shake Milton? Is he going to promote not just a good and positive culture, but a winning culture? And I know this all sounds really negative, but I still have hope. I think Doc Rivers has a lot to prove. He has a chip on his shoulder. He knows he screwed up. And in the end, I'm hopeful. And I hope everything turns out well for the Sixers. They were actually my pick to win the championship this year. You can tell how wrong I was, but it's because I saw the talent. There's so much talent on this roster. It's crazy. And I'm hoping for the best. There's a lot of pros, a lot of cons, a lot of benefits, a lot of drawbacks to this Doc Rivers signing that I went over. And I want to hear what all you guys think about in the comments. If you guys made it this far, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, turn on the bell notifications. If you want a shout out, comment down below that you subscribed and you want a shout out. I'll catch you all next time.